What is going on today, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're all having a great weekend so far. Happy Saturday. Now, before we get started on today's video, wearing a special jumper today. I finally have my first ever NBA merch. Look at this. Yes, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. I know I'm not a Milwaukee. Well, I'm with the Golden State Warriors, right? But this jumper is a special one. The reason being, it's a Giannis Antetokounmpo jumper. Now, if you don't know, I'm a big fan of Giannis. Big fan of Giannis. But also, when I first started this journey in, recording and upload YouTube videos, the first ever player that I reacted to and learned about was Giannis. So when I was looking through the store and trying to think, whose jersey should I buy? I mean, obviously the first person that came to mind was Stephen Curry. It was kind of expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of expensive. It was like really expensive. So, I kept looking and I thought to myself, Giannis. I'm a big fan of Giannis. He was the first player I've reacted to and started learning about. So here we go. Giannis, I don't know if you ever watched this, but I'm a big fan of yours, man. But yeah, guys, welcome back. Today, we are going to be reacting to another Thinking Basketball video. This video is going to showcase the dynamic duo of Steph Curry and Draymond Green, aka the Batman and Superman of Golden State Warriors, my team. So this video titled Stephen Curry and Draymond Green are an all-time duo NBA Finals Game 6 analysis. So we'll read the description and then we'll get to watching. So why did the Celtics offense look stuck in the mud at times? Why couldn't Boston slow down Steph Curry? And how did the Warriors win 4 out of the 5 to win the finals? So this study details how Curry and Draymond Green were able to control Game 6 of the finals, slow down Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which would have been very difficult to do normally, and win their 4th championship and the last 8 seasons to close the 2022 NBA Finals. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Golden State Warriors. I don't know why they haven't done any trades to improve the team for next season. I have no idea. What I do know is that I've yapped long enough, and it's time for us to watch. Cheers, guys.
A decade ago, a second-round draft pick from Michigan State joined a skinny little shooter from Davidson College. And in the 10 years since, they've spearheaded one of the great dynasties in NBA history, with one propelling a dynamic offense and the other leading an elite defense. Together, Draymond Green and Steph Curry reached 6 NBA Finals, and in Game 6 in Boston, they were looking for their 4th championship in the last 8 seasons. Game 6 Clay didn't make an appearance, but Game 6 Dre did, or Big Game Dre, or whatever new nickname this old dancing bear needs, because he was enormous in yet another huge playoff moment. After missing all 11 threes he attempted in the first 5 games, Green made not 1 but 2 triples in Game 6, and he even made a no, yes long 2 to quiet a late Boston run. This offensive juice was a stark turnaround from his extreme struggles in Game 3, where the Celtics were able to nearly play 5-on-4 by cheating off of Draymond. But over the last few games, he's found small ways to be more useful on offense, whether it's attacking opportunistically or with that elite passing vision, using this shooter to manipulate Boston's defense. In this game, he feathered in this bullseye to a cutting Thompson, and on the first offensive possession of the night, a Curry pick and roll sent the Celtics defense scrambling, and so Draymond settled into a soft spot and finished with a little floater.
This right here, man. You see how they were just like running, the Celtics were just running around, trying to figure out what in the hell, the Warriors are planning. They're just running back and forth the whole time, trying to, get the ball away from them. But this type of teamwork always reminds me of the beautiful game of the Spurs.
the Celtics defense scrambling, and so Draymond settled into a soft spot and finished with a little floater. But Green really dominated this game on the defensive end, protecting the rim against the Celtics' perimeter players and disrupting Boston's offense all night, saving this one from behind, which leads to a turnover when Al Horford steps out of bounds. Tatum makes a great defensive play on this pass to Curry, but in a 2-on-2 in transition, Draymond walls off the rim, slides, and destroys Tatum's attempt. Jason likes to Euro step in these spots when he's attacking out in transition, and earlier in the half he had Green one-on-one, planted hard to the right, only to come back left and he just flubs the layup. So the second time they meet on the fast break, Green's looking for that Euro, and when JT goes right, Draymond moves left instead, then jumps backwards to avoid a foul, and that's just defensive perfection.
Yep.
Of course, Green is always sniffing.
I mean, that's why they work so well together. You know, you got defensive play with Draymond, you got the offensive play with Steph Curry, you add 2 and 2 together, boom.
And that's just defensive perfection. Of course, Green is always sniffing out paint threats, sliding over here and throwing off Rob Williams, which leads to another turnover. But his defense against Boston's 2 offensive cogs, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, changed this entire series. Draymond's quick enough to stay in front of them without much help, and big enough to take away their drives and short mid-range shots. He can also impact both of the Jays while he's out there on the same play, starting on Brown, then jumping to Tatum. And if you go back 1 minute, Tatum is isolating against Looney, Green slides over to wall off the drive, so JT pulls back for a comfortable mid-ranger, which means a minute later, Draymond is looking for that step back as Tatum sheds Looney with the same move. Then the second he pivots away from Green, Draymond beams over to Brown, slides to stay in front of Jaylen, and completely contains him on the spin move.
That is insane, man. That is insane. The quick thinking of Draymond Green is a game changer right here, right? Obviously, like thinking basketball just said, he saw what move Jason was going for. He knew he was going to do it again. And then, he had Jaylen. Let's watch it.
Slides. And the second he pivots away from Green, Draymond beams over to Brown.
Yeah. So he knows he's about to go to Brown. He's passing to Brown. So his goal is trying to stop the momentum. He does it so well.
Slides to stay in front of Jaylen and completely contains him on the spin move. Here's one where he ends up on Tatum, stays with him until the help arrives, and then peels off to steal the pass. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a defensive masterclass.
It is a defensive masterclass. Like, damn, man. He's moving with them. He's not giving them any breathing room. It's crazy.
Peels off to steal the pass, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a defensive masterclass. There are more subtle examples too, like deterring an entry pass. Then this down screen should free up Jaylen Brown, but Green switches out early so there's no advantage. Then he can help briefly in the post without leaving his own man, and the possession ends in a difficult fadeaway. It's little things like this that make Boston's offense look discombobulated or isolation heavy. Here's a common handoff action teams run for stars. And with Otto Porter Jr. in there, this was an open 3 for Tatum back in Game 5.
They make the Celtics take difficult shots that they probably won't be making. It's just brilliant basketball right here, man.
Now here's the same action in Game 6, with Green jumping out to the ball handler, not once but twice, and Brown doesn't want to challenge him, so Smart attacks the slower Looney, but the Warriors' great help swallows him up, and Curry knocks it out of bounds. The Celtics tried to attack Steph repeatedly throughout this series, and he not only held up well in isolation, but when he would switch onto one of the Jays, Draymond was still lurking and torturing the Celtics with his help. This time they go after the weaker Poole, and it's a hard double from Green, and he stuffs the pass to force his 5th turnover of the game. Over the final 5 games of the series, Tatum and Brown were actually quite successful with Draymond on the bench. But with him out there, their scoring suffered. Tatum looked like one of the best scorers in the 45 minutes Green sat, but with Draymond in the game, his numbers fell off a cliff.
That is insane. The influence that Green, that Green, I just went blank for a second, that Green has when he's on court. Like, that is absolutely insane. It just shows you how good he is defensively, man.
Brown maintained his volume when Draymond came in, but suffered the same 13% drop in shooting. As we discussed earlier in the series, Andrew Wiggins' isolation defense was a big part of this story too, regularly locking up Tatum throughout the night, leading to more miscues and turnovers from the Celtics superstar. Gary Payton II also had another big defensive game, and his hands caused problems for the Jays throughout this series, and those turnovers lead to easy offense for Golden State. Of course, one of the reasons the Warriors can play guys like Draymond, Kevon Looney, and GP2 together is the singular offensive brilliance of Curry on the other end of the floor. Steph finished the series averaging 31 points per game on an impressive 63% true shooting.
Damn.
And while he put on one of the great shooting displays in the history of the finals, I think it was his craft, balance, and secure ball handling that proved to be too much for the Celtics. We mentioned this in prior videos during the playoffs, but Steph was able to dance in traffic and body defenders on drives without turning it over. He was stripped for a turnover only twice during the entire postseason, and that really tight handle made him a nightmare in pick and roll at postseason.
I love that, man. He's out there breaking ankles.
And that really tight handle,
like, look at this.
Made him a nightmare in pick and roll action.
Steph just makes it look too easy. You go and try that yourself, and you're like, how the fuck does Steph do that?
Even when they end up with Marcus Smart back on him here, the threat of his shot is paralyzing. Curry fakes picking up the dribble, and that's enough to blow by Smart, and then a beautiful...
I'll rewind, but Marcus Smart just got drafted to the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken, right? Should I check him out for a video in the future? Let me know in the comments.
Curry fakes picking up the dribble, and that's enough to blow by Smart, and then a beautiful finish with the left hand. The Celtics were never really able to limit Curry the way Golden State slowed down their offense. If they sent extra defenders at him in the pick and roll, he set up shots for teammates. And if they tried to play him differently, he just vaporized Boston's big men with his own scoring game. Guarding Curry is a uniquely exhausting mental experience. Relax for even just 2 seconds and he'll bury you. Smart's so laser focused on him here that he doesn't even see Clay flying in for a layup, and then Marcus relaxes for the briefest of moments, and suddenly Curry's loose, and even with 2 Celtics lunging at him, he steps aside and drops in one of his 6 threes.
Yep.
Fittingly, with the lead cut to 9 down the stretch, the Celtics pulled Rob Williams and went to a switch everything defense. So Steph just gave Al Horford some change of pace and walked in for a layup. A minute later, in an 8-point game, they brought Horford back into the Iron Maiden, only this time Ime Udoka wants to spring a double team on Steph, but that's way too easy and opens up shots for his teammates.
Ah, that was beautiful.
After that, they go back to trying Horford on Curry Island, and Steph busts out the fake step back, switching hands on his dribble, and as Al lunges, that gives him an angle to lower his shoulder and use that improved strength to finish.
I gotta watch that again.
Back to trying Horford on Curry Island, and Steph busts out the fake step back, switching hands on his dribble, and as Al lunges, that gives him an angle to lower his shoulder and use that improved strength to finish.
Steph Curry's ball handling, footwork, on point.
The changes in his body, his balance, and his ball handling over time have made him much harder to pressure or trap in these situations, and making moves like this without turning it over has helped to offset a loss of quickness as he's aged. And after a dagger 3 in the corner put the game to bed, the Warriors completed an incredible turnaround where the Splash Brothers missed a combined 3 full seasons of basketball, with Golden State missing the playoffs for 2 consecutive seasons. Steve Kerr's coaching has been incredible in this run, but no matter who else comes and goes on the roster, the Warriors have consistently been powered by this generation's best defensive player and, arguably, the generation's best offensive player too, making them one of the greatest duos in NBA history. For additional content, check out patreon.com.
That is absolutely correct. One of the best duos in basketball. Now, this one, shout out to Thinking Basketball once again for this video. Great video as always. I'm a big fan of his videos. I'm going to leave the link for this video in the bio. And yeah, I mean, as a Golden State Warriors fan, I've really enjoyed this. And also as a new basketball fan, I enjoyed this even more because I don't know why it took me this long to start watching his videos, because, you know, watching highlights and story-based videos like the one from Post 2K, they're great, but it's also really good to have a more detailed look at the sort of the type of play styles and you know, how the team work together each game, and how you know, it's so cool. It's so cool. But I like the way Thinking Basketball explains everything. It's, I don't know, it makes perfect sense to me. Now, I do plan on watching more of his videos and Jimmy's videos down the line. Of course, I'm gonna try and mix it up every week. A couple of highlights, a couple of this and that, story, thinking, Jimmy, so on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this, definitely leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys want to see for a future video? Who do you guys want to see for a future video? I mean, I've almost filled out the 4th page of this notebook. So see that? This is the 4th page. We've got content for I don't know how long. So don't you worry. Yeah, and if you've requested something that I've taken a while to get to, like I apologize, but it's like it's a lot to watch. It's a lot to catch up on. You know what I mean? I have 4 pages. I'm going back and forth and just picking random videos to watch. But yeah, I appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing me. Thank you. And yeah, until the next video, you guys take care, stay safe, keep on grinding. Much love all. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Much love all.